Good morning. It's January 17th.
It's the 18th.
Today's the 18th. Monday the 18th. 9 a.m. and I am in the Panhandle in Santa Rosa Beach. Yesterday, before my wife and I went to church, I got up and listened to a few videos. So I was listening to Kerr. And Kerr's she's a nutty lady. You know, she's got pink hair. She's a prophet. But she's optimistic, and I like to hear what she says sometimes. So I was listening to her, and she started speaking of billions of angels over Florida. And then we got ready, went to church, and near the end of the service at church, this pastor, who we've only been to this church twice, and this is in Miramar Beach, Florida, it's about a half hour away from us. It's a neighboring town. And near the end of the sermon, he starts speaking about him seeing billions of angels over Florida. Well, I'm pretty sure he didn't listen to Kerr that morning. And when two people say very similar things like that, I just pay attention. So that's what I did.
But what I saw that day was right over top of Silver Sands. I was in Santa Rosa. It was right over top of Silver Sands. It was like a huge portal that had opened up in the spirit. Huge. And as far as I could see, I saw angels stacked on top of each other. Every one of them had swords that were drawn. And I said, my goodness gracious. I told them in the room, I said, I just saw a vision that I've never seen before right above Silver Sands Mall. There was armies of angels that were legions upon legions. I mean, there weren't hundreds of thousands. There was millions, if not billions of them. Huge.
So we were at church. We watched that and then went and ate a Whataburger, and I was thinking about it all the way home. So I rewatched Kerr with a little more involvement, paying attention to it a little bit more. Commie bastards are trying to take over our country.
He's a communist bastard!
And let me tell you something about commie bastards.
Commie bastard.
They say they're atheists, but they're not. That's part of the lie. Commie bastards hate Jesus. They hate God. They hate God so much they're willing to help the devil in any way they can. It's not that they're atheists. They very much believe in God, and they hate him. You know, right now we've got a bunch of their women. They're evil women. They belong to the I call them the Girls with Daddy Issues Club, and you know who they are.
Yeah.
And these commie bastards are trying to do something in this country right now that we're not going to let them do.
Beat those commie bastards.
Something's going to come out of Florida because there's apparently billions of angels over Florida. Well, here's what Kerr had to say.
The host of heaven, and by the way, yesterday released 50 billion of the host of heaven. And if you did not know this, God calls Florida, over the skies of Florida, he calls it his battle station on earth. What does that mean? That means there are billions of the hosts posted there to be sent out on assignment. And he had me send 50 billion. Yes, people, he has a lot. No one knows but him. You haven't counted them. You probably haven't even seen them. You'd probably be hiding if you had. The host of heaven are not beautiful, pretty boys with blonde hair and harps. They have weapons coming out of them. The frequency of God, the fire of God. They fight with lightning bolts. And guess what? Some of the ones who've been assigned now are the same ones who fought in the flesh on behalf of Israel. Go back and read it in the Bible. How one angel took out so many hundreds of thousands, it shocked them all. We have some of those fighting with us. I enjoy commanding the host of heaven, and they enjoy going on assignments. They need orders from headquarters, and let me tell you, headquarters in heaven is very excited about these days. I know you've heard several times different people sending things around. I'm sure some of it's conspiracy stuff, some of it's just being made up to make you feel better, some of it's actually the real thing. You should decide on what you think it is. I just say this: get plenty of supplies, including cake, and maybe for a couple weeks or so, just to save you a trip to the grocery store. This is not a time for death and destruction for us. This is not a time for civil war. In a civil war, you have to have a divided nation. We have a pocket of people who'd rather have communism. There, I said it. The rest of us, almost 80 million of us, that's the majority in case you can't count. We want life, liberty, freedom, justice, and righteousness in this nation, and we are going to get it.
Right?